This time-lapse is from massive competitive multiplayer that took place recently. We had over 40 players at the start and they played as African Prussia, Songhai. This is a special type of time-lapse that includes my comments and insights. We played on MP mode that rebalanced 1444 game, nerfed death costs and manpower bonuses. And before we start, congratulations to the giveaway winner from my saving your rent campaigns, Maynor Freyr. Please contact me via Discord. Our early game was really slow and calm. I was focusing on building up my nation, getting as many as possible power points to show strength on my rivals, and getting, any chance to fight Europeans when they arrive. Talking about the Europeans, pretty early on Ottomans and Poland killed Hungary, France got killed by England and Castile, while Ottomans were of course fighting with the Mamluks. Problem of the Mamluks was that Ottomans were allied to QQ, they were allied to Tunis, they were allied to Ethiopia. Because of that, they were just killed by this coalition. Imagine 2 million people dead in 15th century. This is like a whole nation population there in this war between Muscovy and Lithuania. You see, at the same time that around 1500 I united my region, most of those small nations inside my country were just my vassals. I had my gold mines, I had all the institutions, I had all the technologies, and next step was to think about my alliances and enemies in Africa. Poland was somehow getting arrived for all of these wars. We can't say that about the Ottomans that got attacked by Austria and Byzantium appeared. You can also see that there was already one war when I attacked Tunis and took the provinces in the northern Africa. I had an agreement with Ethiopia that will not, engage against each other, but unfortunately they joined my war against Tunis, but thanks to forming Sokoto just a little bit earlier, I managed to push back both Tunis and Ethiopia. After that, I still trusted Ethiopia and we formed another alliance, but on the cost of him getting rid of the alliance with Congo, which you'll see in another part of the time-lapse. These wars over here were practically the end of Sweden, which lost both of them. You can also see that Ethiopia changed color here to Bakfezi. That's because he will form Bakfezi later, while at the same time Congo formed Bakfezi, so the time-lapse is having no idea what's happening there. Here we've got to the very interesting moment of the wars. First of all, me and Ethiopia were fighting with Tuscany for Egypt, while at the same time there was a huge conflict between Spain and Portugal on one side and Great Britain and Austria on second side. After winning with Tuscany and enforcing demands, I joined the war on the side of the Spain, which was my ally at this moment, because they were still outnumbered in the war against Great Britain. But what happened because of that was Russia and Tuscany attacking Spain, so we ended up fighting with practically whole Europe. Because of this war, Spain took one province that Great Britain needed to form France. Unfortunately, a little bit later, Great Britain managed to gather a huge coalition against Spain, and when another world war started, Spain and Tunis had no chance of winning that, and they actually left the server, and Tunis became AI, while Spain was taken by another player. and my relations with them pretty much broke. You can see that Asia looks pretty nicely. First of all, we have partitioned China, where there were a couple of players, which made this region way more interesting. In East Asia, we had a conflict between Shu and Khmer, and Min and Manchu. Manchu was expanding really quickly at this point of the game. Also, you can see that Uzbek formed Bukhara, that's why the yellow color, but later it will form the Timurs, that's why the time-lapse is putting the Timur's name over there. Manchu was expanding so quickly and so everywhere that he even entered Indonesia after winning the war with Khmer. Here we can see finally Mughals that were formed, and Manchu finally losing the war because they get coalitions. You expand too much, you get the coalition. In northern India you can see that we got Punjab that formed, and Bakfezi in Africa, while Portugal was getting really aggressively into there. New World was dominated in the early game mostly by Portugal and Spain, and a little bit later also Hanover started getting there. This Tunis war with Bakfezi was actually funny because Tunis was Theravada and he attacked to decrease his karma, but Bakfezi decided that he wants to fight after all and take back his land in Madagascar. Well, as Tunis was no longer there, I could take over Ivory Coast, which was part of our border, and also I was helping Spain against Tuscany to take Levant for myself. Over here, unfortunately, Westphalia, without any routes to expand, tried attacking Hanover, and it ended up France, which was formed by Great Britain, killing him. You can also see that the color of Austria is a little bit different, and that might be a tip for you which country he's going to form. Yes, there is also a tag in China called China, but it's part of the mod and it's giving him new ideas and a better gameplay in this region. Spain probably thought that he's going just to eat Tuscany freely because he had some argument with France, but France and Austria decided to help Italians, and that was the beginning of the end of Spain. After seeing that Europe, so France, Austria, Hungary and Russia, are in a very close relationship and all of them were superpowers, especially France and Russia, we decided to create a world coalition against them. Because of the alliance rules, we had to attack in two wars, so in the first one there was me, Bakfezi and Vijay, and in the second one we had China, Khmer and Delhi. Later, if any of us would be getting unconditional surrender, we were supposed to truce break separately and get into the war again. Unfortunately, after a few truce breaks, the whole coalition started getting weakened, bored by the constant wars, and it ended up in a status quo. And of course, millions of people dead. Yes, you see that Austria formed Poland for the ideas and then Switzerland for the missions, because they have a permanent bonus to 5% of the morale. Here was an interesting situation because Delhi attacked Baghfezi 1v1, they were having a really close battle, and after a couple of years Russia joined on the side of the Delhi. So what I did, I joined on the side of the Baghfezi, so we are having a 2v2 war that ended up with 44 million dead because we are fighting in the Persian mountains. But that wasn't the only super war that was happening at the end. You see that there was also China and Khmer fighting against Russia, France and Switzerland. Of course, Russia was mostly on our front line, so it was in fact France and Switzerland versus China and Khmer. Imagine 200k stacks going through Siberia. Yeah, here you can see that there are a lot of colonial nations, and all of those nations were still under the colonial empires. Just on our mod, you can form nations while building a colony, which is making it a little bit nicer. So that's it, there's a few maps here. You see that on the religions everybody had the different religion because we rebalanced it in the mod. Also the dev map mode, everyone deved a lot, and same for the manpower, green everywhere. So thank you so much for watching guys today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Just remember to leave a like and comment, and I will see you soon.